Welcome to our journey back in time to ancient Egypt, a civilization that gazed upon the stars and saw the reflections of their gods. Today, we explore the enigmatic reign of Amenhotep IV, a pharaoh who dared to challenge the very fabric of Egyptian society. Imagine a world where the sun, the life-giver, was not merely one among many deities, but the sole object of worship. This was the radical vision of Amenhotep IV, who renamed himself Akhenaten, meaning living spirit of Aten. His reign marked a period of unprecedented change, a religious revolution that sent shockwaves through the ancient world. Join me as we delve into the life and times of Akhenaten, exploring the mysteries surrounding his reign, the splendor of his new capital city, and the reasons why his legacy continues to fascinate and divide historians to this day. Akhenaten's story begins like many pharaohs before him, born into a life of immense privilege as the son of Amenhotep III. As a young prince, he would have been surrounded by the splendor and grandeur of the Egyptian court. His father's reign was a time of peace and prosperity, marked by ambitious building projects and diplomatic successes. Yet it seems that Akhenaten was destined to pursue a different path. From the moment he ascended to the throne, Akhenaten embarked on a series of radical reforms that challenged the very foundations of Egyptian society. His decision to elevate Aten, the sun disk, to the status of the sole god was nothing short of revolutionary. For centuries, the Egyptians had worshipped a pantheon of gods, each representing different aspects of nature and human experience. This wasn't merely a theological debate, it was a direct challenge to the authority of the powerful priesthood of Amun, who had amassed considerable wealth and influence. Akhenaten's actions were not just about changing religious beliefs, but also about reshaping the political and social landscape of Egypt. Even his name, Amenhotep, meaning Amun is satisfied, was an affront to the old ways. He cast it aside, adopting the name Akhenaten, a tangible symbol of his devotion to the Aten and his rejection of the traditional gods. But Akhenaten's revolution wasn't confined to religion. He ushered in a new era of artistic expression, one that abandoned the rigid, stylized forms of traditional Egyptian art. We see this in the elongated limbs, the full lips, and the intimate family scenes depicted in the art of his reign. Akhenaten's religious revolution wasn't simply about swapping one god for another, it was a fundamental shift in how the Egyptians were to understand the cosmos and their place within it. Imagine a society accustomed to a complex web of deities, suddenly confronted with the concept of a single all-encompassing divine force. The Aten was not depicted in the traditional sense as a human or animal-headed deity, instead it was represented as the sun disk, its rays reaching down to embrace the world in a life-giving light. This wasn't a god hidden away in some distant celestial realm, but one that was ever-present, its power tangible in the warmth of the sun on their skin. Akhenaten and his wife, the beautiful Nefertiti, became the sole intermediaries between the people and the Aten. They were depicted basking in the sun's rays, their family life presented as an ideal to which others should aspire. This was a religion of light and joy, emphasizing the life-giving power of the sun and the importance of family. Hymns and poems were composed, praising the Aten as the creator and sustainer of all life. Akhenaten's own words reveal a deep reverence for the natural world and a belief that the Aten's power was manifested in every aspect of creation. This new religion also had a profound impact on temple architecture. Gone were the dark enclosed spaces of traditional temples, replaced by open courtyards where sunlight could freely penetrate. Offerings were made directly to the Aten under the open sky, a radical departure from the rituals of the past. Imagine a city rising from the desert sands, a testament to one pharaoh's unwavering religious conviction. This was Akhenaten, the horizon of the Aten, a city built by Akhenaten in honor of his god. Today we know it as Tel El Amarna, a sprawling archaeological site that offers a glimpse into this fascinating period of Egyptian history. Located on the east bank of the Nile River, Amarna was more than just a new capital city. It was a physical manifestation of Akhenaten's vision for Egypt, a place where his religious reforms were given concrete expression. The city was laid out on a grand scale, with wide avenues, sprawling palaces and temples dedicated to the Aten. One of the most striking features of Amarna was its speed of construction. Driven by Akhenaten's fervor, the city rose from the desert in just a few years, a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the ancient Egyptian builders. The remains of Amarna paint a vivid picture of life in this unique city. We find evidence of grand royal processions, religious ceremonies conducted under the open sky, and the bustling activity of a thriving urban center. The houses of ordinary people, the workshops of artisans, and even the tombs of the city's inhabitants provide valuable insights into daily life during Akhenaten's reign. Amarna wasn't just a political and religious center, it was a vibrant artistic hub. The walls of its buildings were adorned with intricate reliefs and paintings, showcasing the distinctive artistic style that flourished under Akhenaten's patronage. Akhenaten's revolution, while dramatic and far-reaching, was short-lived. His reign, which lasted just 17 years, is often referred to as the Amarna period, or even the heretic period by some scholars. But why was this pharaoh, who claimed to be guided by the light of the Aten, so reviled by those who came after him? One reason was undoubtedly the upheaval his reforms caused. Imagine the resentment of the priests of Amun, their power and influence stripped away, as Akhenaten elevated the Aten to supremacy. The closure of their temples, the confiscation of their wealth, and the disruption of centuries-old religious practices would have created powerful enemies. The rapid pace of change, the abandonment of tradition, and the focus on a single deity alienated many. The common people, accustomed to the familiar rituals and deities of their ancestors, may have found it difficult to embrace this new religion. Then there were the political ramifications. Akhenaten's focus on his religious reforms led him to neglect Egypt's foreign affairs. This neglect allowed Egypt's enemies to gain strength, weakening the country's influence in the region, and potentially contributing to economic instability. The artistic changes he championed, while innovative, were seen as a departure from the established artistic canons of Egypt. The elongated limbs, the androgynous features, and the intimate family scenes depicted in Amarna art were a stark contrast to the rigid formality of traditional Egyptian art. Adding to the intrigue surrounding Akhenaten's reign are the mysteries surrounding his family, particularly the fate of his beloved wife Nefertiti, and the young pharaoh who succeeded him, Tutankhamun. Nefertiti, whose name means the beautiful one has come, played an active role in Akhenaten's reign. She was depicted alongside him in numerous temple reliefs and statues, often shown in poses of equal stature, suggesting a level of power and influence rarely accorded to Egyptian queens. Some scholars even believe she may have ruled as pharaoh in her own right after Akhenaten's death. But Nefertiti's fate remains a mystery. Her tomb has never been found, and there is much debate about when and how she died. Some believe she outlived Akhenaten and ruled under a different name, while others speculate that she fell from grace or met an untimely end. Adding to the intrigue is the story of Tutankhamun, the boy king who ascended the throne after Akhenaten. Though his fame today rests largely on the discovery of his lavishly furnished tomb, Tutankhamun played a pivotal role in restoring the old ways after the upheaval of the Amarna period. Under the guidance of his advisors, Tutankhamun reversed many of Akhenaten's reforms. He restored the traditional religious practices, reopened the temples of the old gods, and moved the capital back to Thebes. The reign of the boy king marked a return to orthodoxy, a deliberate attempt to erase the memory of Akhenaten's revolution. Even today, thousands of years after his reign, Akhenaten remains a figure of fascination and debate. Was he a visionary, a religious innovator who dared to challenge the status quo? Or was he a tyrant, a heretic who plunged Egypt into chaos with his radical reforms? Those who view him favorably point to his monotheistic beliefs as evidence of a man ahead of his time. They see him as a champion of individual conscience, a ruler who dared to break free from the shackles of tradition and embrace a new way of understanding the divine. They admire his artistic sensibilities, his appreciation for the natural world, and his desire to create a society based on love, light, and the worship of a single universal God. They argue that his reign, though short-lived, was a period of great artistic and religious creativity. His detractors, however, paint a different picture. They see him as a fanatic, a ruler whose obsession with the Aten led him to neglect his duties as pharaoh, throwing Egypt into turmoil. They point to the economic instability, the political unrest, and the religious persecution that characterized his reign. They argue that his attempts to erase the traditional gods and impose his own beliefs on the people were ultimately doomed to fail. They see his legacy as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of religious extremism and the importance of respecting tradition. Today, the ruins of Akhenaten's city, Tel El Amarna, stand as a testament to this fascinating and controversial period in Egyptian history. Located about halfway between the modern cities of Cairo and Luxor, Amarna is a must-see for anyone interested in exploring the mysteries of ancient Egypt. Walking among the ruins of the city, one can't help but feel a sense of awe at the scale and ambition of Akhenaten's vision. The remains of the royal palaces, the temples dedicated to the Aten, and the tombs of the city's elite offer a glimpse into a world that was both strikingly different from and yet inextricably linked to the Egypt that came before and after. The site is well preserved, and visitors can explore the layout of the city, wander through the remains of houses and workshops, and imagine what life was like for the people who lived here over 3,000 years ago. One of the highlights of a visit to Amarna is the opportunity to see the remains of the ateliers where the artists of the Amarna period created their distinctive works. Here, you can see unfinished statues and reliefs, providing valuable insights into their techniques and artistic vision. While many of the treasures from Amarna are now housed in museums around the world, the Egyptian Museum in Cairo boasts a particularly impressive collection of artifacts from this period. Among its treasures are statues of Akhenaten and Nefertiti, examples of Amarna art, and even the preserved remains of royal mummies from the Amarna period. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and legacy of Akhenaten. Whether you see him as a visionary or a tyrant, his impact on history is undeniable. He dared to challenge the very foundations of Egyptian society, ushering in a period of religious and artistic innovation that continues to fascinate and intrigue us today. Akhenaten's story reminds us that the past is never truly past. It lives on in the ruins of ancient cities, in the artifacts we unearth, and in the stories we tell about the people who came before us. Their struggles, their triumphs, and their failures offer valuable lessons for our own time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more historical deep dives. We have so much more to explore together, from the pyramids of Giza to the lost city of Troy. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars and wondering about the mysteries of the universe.